the Redmi Note 8 Pro. I've been using it for a year now, and here is what I think of it. Number one, let's just get this out of the way. Somehow it broke. That's the only broken thing. I don't know how, but the protector for my LED light fell off, but I'm not daily using this phone, so it doesn't really matter. As you can see, brief summary, you've got a double AI quad camera. What, double? I mean quad AI camera. Number one, you have the main sensor, which is like the only good sensor in the entire phone. 61 megapixels, and then you've got the 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel depth sensor, and a 2 megapixel macro. The ultra wide and the other 3 sensors are just really bad, so the only good sensor is actually just the main 64 megapixel camera. Provides great detail, great color, good exposure, and decent dynamic range. Another thing I'm in love with is the finish of this phone. As you can see, I'm filming this using my Poco AF2 Pro. You can really see the gorgeous reflection of this, and when you shine it to the light, it just looks so beautiful. Yeah. Now, the design actually looks pretty good. It doesn't look too outdated. Like, look, when it comes to the back, there's a slight curve, and the finish is good. And obviously down here you've got USB Type-C's, your your single speakers, and your headphone jack. The screen is a 6.53 inch 1080p LCD display, 60Hz refresh rate, and you've got a Gorilla Glass 5 protecting the front and also the back of this device. Now you've also got a little punch hole notch, selfie camera notch up here at the top, which is a sort of an outdated design, but it's fine now. So without further ado, let's get right into it. There we go. So one thing I will say is the vibration mode is really bad, so I just turned it off. I don't really need a vibration motor. But this back thing is really fast. Look, I'm just going to clean it up actually a little bit using my clothes. And now my hand and the fingerprint sensor is clean, so I'm just going to turn my hand over it. Ready? Look how fast that is. Ready? Tap. Ready? That is really fast for a 1-year-old phone that costs $250 US. The screen still feels relatively quick, and when you just scroll through, it all feels pretty nice, pretty fast, pretty smooth. There is a bit of bezel right here on this side, but you don't really notice it. When you swipe up, you do feel a bit of lag, but it's still going pretty well. Just open Instagram and, just do it like that. Open music, open Twitter. I mean, it's getting slower. It's getting slower. But after 1 year of lots of usage, lots of overheating, it's still pretty well. Battery is another strong point of this under normal circumstances. So not heavy gaming, but just gaming maybe 20 minutes each shift and maybe a bit of photo taking. You can normally go from 80 to 30% pretty easily. And obviously I'm also in love with MIUI 12 and its beautiful wallpapers. And I mean, scrolling through the phone, it's still pretty good. It still feels pretty good in hand. And I won't recommend this for one-handed usage because it is pretty big. But, I mean, everything just going pretty fine. So, obviously, we've got your ultra-wides. Okay. And then, you've got your main sensor. And the 2x digital zoom. And then you can go up all the way to 10 times digital zoom. Here, back to your ultra-wides. zoom in there. The transition isn't all that smooth. There is really slight delay. I'm really fine with everything. Now, for photo, obviously you can take 64 megapixels. There's HDR, there's a lot of things. For video, it's also quite good. Obviously you can take it in ultra wide, which can unfortunately only record in 30 FPS, 1080p, but if you go into the normal mode, you can shoot in 4K 30, which is a pretty sweet deal. The macro camera is actually not as bad as you might think. Whoops. But when you click the macro here, it obviously goes into macro camera. But if you go really close up, look, it's against the wood and everything, it does actually take pretty decent video and photos. Look at that. Obviously there's lots of noises and stuff, but the macro camera isn't exactly bad. That's what I'm going to say. Now you can go back to your normal modes here, where, as you can see, I'm just going to put this over here. You can take a photo. It captures plenty of detail, especially the 64 megapixel mode. So I'm just going to take a picture of that now, and then you can go in and see how much detail is actually captured. Look, I'm zooming in and you can still see how much detail is being captured after 1 year of heavy usage in this phone. Now, this phone's top inline is offered in only 128 gigabytes and 6 gigabytes of RAM, but it has served me pretty good enough, and I just thoroughly enjoyed using this phone. And so that is basically my brief summary. Really good main sensor, beautiful finish, beautiful design, screen still running fine, battery still doing well. I can use this for probably 2 to 3 more years. Obviously it will get slower, but it's still running pretty well. Chipset isn't as fast as you might think, but for general usage and for $250 USD, it's a great deal. And with that in mind, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.